Welcome to the final round of our Apex eSL V8 Supercars Championship. So tonight we are on the final round, so it's just one race. So it is at Bathurst Mount Panorama. So drivers just have the one final race, not the two races that we usually do where we do a sprint and a main. So the event is scheduled for a 15-minute practice, weather is overcast, and then a 15-minute qualifier, weather is light rain to overcast, and then the final race is a grueling 30 laps over the mountain, weather is overcast, medium cloud to clear, so it's a mandatory pit for the drivers. So currently leading the series is Sweatridge 3103. Not far behind is Gallen and Angry Oldfella, so with the points they're sitting at the moment, they could take it. If Sweatridge qualifies last and finishes last, a pole, a win, and fastest lap is enough to actually take the lead for the championship. So it's very close for the rest of the podium. So last week we had Sweatridge take the first race and Sweatridge take the second race. So we'll head over to the pit lane now. Drivers are now heading off into the pits. So with our session as well, we'll be also taking a quick 5-minute break once the qualifying finishes. So drivers will get a quick break before heading off into almost approximately an hour it'll take to do the 30 laps we're expecting, so a little bit longer. So drivers just talking about tyre wear and the likes just before. Drivers trying to work out a strategy as to what they can do to try and get the tyres to last, minimise the amount of pit stops that will be needed. So I just need to hide the UI on the system, so I'll be back with you in a moment. Left you watching Darksider out on his outlap 4 practice session. So he was a late entry into the series. So we had a lot of drivers wanting to compete in this series, so he was actually on the reserve list, but we've had a couple that couldn't make it, so getting to battle it out on the mountain. Over to Corby. So Corby, last round at Road America, finished second in the sprint race and seventh in the main race. So he did qualify in pole for the sprint race, so very quick times at Road America by Corby. So good to see what time he can set today. We're expecting around possibly the 2-minute mark for lap times for the race pace from what drivers have been doing with the practice through the week. So Sweatridge having a little bit of difficulty there, heading out of the pits. Very slippery as they do exit out of the pits there. So overcast weather, season is summer, so track temps will be warm, but it is going to be a wet qualifier, and then most of the race will be overcast and cloudy and clearing up at the end, so track temps won't get too high. We'll make our way up the list and check out all the drivers. Mersey Blue is currently on the championship ladder, sitting at position 8, so 170 points. So a strong result in the final round tonight. Could see him move up the ladder quite a fair bit as there's big points up for grabs. So it's double the points of the normal main events. So a big 145 points up for grabs. So 120 just for a race win. Matteo is sitting quite well in the ladder as well, so 197 points, a little bit off from the rest of the field there, so about 50 points difference from As a Ninja, but he hasn't made it tonight so far, so there's a chance that he may join in yet. He's got his invite. So Weaven's also sitting around the same spot as Matteo and Mersey Blue as well. I think Gallen in the green car, so championships got Sweatridge in first and Gallen in second and Angry Oldflower in third, so they will be battling it quite fiercely tonight for the position. Sweatridge has driven quite well through the series, so we've just been informed Bertie has just had his out lap invalidated, or his first lap out after the out lap, I should say. The Corby sitting at 203.5 for the first time. That is a nice time indeed. The Skiddy was in the green car there. Gallen in the pits. He's had a bust up already, so a fair bit of damage showing on that car. Scraping that wall coming out of the pit lane as well. So 9 minutes remaining of practice session. Psycho is currently sitting 12th with 137 points in the championship. And if you are joining us, oh, wall contact there on the S is nasty there. Damage done to another car there as well, it's probably Rooney. Oh, we've had some dropouts. Psycho dropped out, so Rex was also having some difficulties with dropout, so he's still there. Sweatridge taking a big spill there. Child's Play end up in a strong finish in the main race with taking second positions. So him and Rooney having a spill in the sprint race last week, both putting them to the back of the field for that race. I'm just trying to load up our chat server so I can see chat messages for you guys. So Angry's out, so also having wall contact showing there. Angry contesting also for the top there. The 283 points in third position in the championship, where Gallen 350, 307 points. So Sweatridge leading on second position by 90 points. Someone has rejoined. A bit of a lag spike there as someone's just joined. Go, everyone's back in. So missing is As a Ninja, Aussie Chopper, and also Davo Dozer. So Aussie Chopper is off on a holiday, so hope he's enjoying his time away. We'll miss you for tonight's race. So if you join us for the stream, there is controls underneath for you to use. You can cheer for your favourite drivers, make sound effects that go over the stream. I won't hear them, but I will see what ones you views, so be sure to get in on it. Also comment who you think will end up winning the race, and whether you think Sweatridge can maintain that lead and have all good luck for the race so that he can actually keep that championship lead. Up over that curb, almost losing it there by Rory. So you need to be hugging that wall quite hard, so Rory just trying to get some more from them tyres at the moment. Very tight time indeed there, set already by Sweatridge, a 2 minute. So it'll be interesting to see with a wet qualifier just who ends up being able to take pole, as we may see a bit of a difference to the starting grid with our drivers. It's not always the case that the stronger, most good paced drivers don't always have their strong point in the wets. So some of the other drivers you tend to see them up there getting a much stronger finish than they do normally compared to other drivers. So mixes things up a lot. Darksider also setting a 2 minute, so very close indeed, 0.3 of a second difference between the first and the second position. 4 minutes remaining of practice. Over to Terex. So Terex is in 5th position with 256 points in the championship. So currently holding 4th in practice with a 2:02.9, so it's very close times in our top 5, only 3 seconds difference. If they're consistent with times over the course of a race for 30 laps, that will make a bit of a difference. So drivers will need to ensure consistency is key, and it's definitely going to possibly require a couple of pit stops. So it's accelerated tyre wear for game settings, so if drivers can be quite easy on those tyres over the track, with track temperatures not being too bad, they shouldn't get too high. They could possibly be able to last a stint with only one pit stop if they're lucky. But with almost a full grid here at the mountain, there's definitely going to be a lot of bumps and scrapes. Hopefully nothing too drastic. Over to Rooney. So Rooney is sitting in 4th position with 257 points. Child's Play there is in behind Rooney. So setting a 2:02.999. Not a bad time. They're very competitive times being set so far in the practice. Oh, Child's Play looked like he went a little bit of understeer through that corner. Over to Bertie. Oh, locking the brakes up there. Nice line through Forest Elbow. So his brakes and tyres a little bit cold, so that rear did start to slide out on the braking. The brake bias definitely a must to have right over Mount Panorama, as you do not want that rear of the car locking up and sliding in those corners. You need to get that car lined up straight perfectly before the corners. With 1 minute remaining, Swearidge dove into the pits now. Still with a 2-minute 0.5. A lot of slip there still by Birdie, so setting a 2:05. Did Rory just get to sit a lap? Angry old fella and Gallen currently sitting with a 2:04 and a 2:05, so 4 to 5 seconds off pace of Swearidge currently. So Angry and Gallen needing to try and get a strong position in qualifying to get those extra points, and then also to try and get away quite quickly at the start of the race. They do have some good pace, so to try and secure their positions on the podium and to have a crack at taking that title opportunity away from Swearidge, they definitely need to work quite strongly. So practice is complete. So over to Gallen, so we saw him with some damage early and had to return to the pits. A little bit of a lag spike there. He did have some technical issues last time, so hopefully none for him tonight. Does not want to be having technical dramas and disconnects or lag on the final round of the series, especially when he's so close. Jump on board with Gallen for this final lap. Psycho has just dropped out. That was Rory. Psycho's rejoined. And they're back in, that's lucky. So as long as we can get them back in before qualifying. Oh, a little bit off there. I'm probably putting Gallen off. He said he's going to be watching the stream, so sorry if I put you off there, Gal. Significant damage showing there to Skiddy's car in the matching green to Gallen's. Skiddy crossing the line, 2:05, so 5-second difference between the entire field. That is quite close. Someone who's still out on track. So drivers got 40 seconds to finish up their last lap in practice, and then they'll be heading over to 15 minutes of qualifying. Here they are, they've brought it back to the pits, so very respective times. So 2 minutes 0.574 set by Swearidge. So sector times looking quite tight in the third sector, 37.38, and then a little bit of difference in sector 2, not much difference in sector 1, so a lot of time can be made up in sector 2, so that's going across the mountains, so stronger driver in the 42s, so doing quite well. So we'll see how they go with the wet. So heading into 15 minutes of qualifying now. The track is wet. The drivers will need to be adjusting their setups now from the practice they just had. Lots of setups being changed. As you hear it spike in revs there, that's when a setup is being changed. So Child's Play, Skiddy and T-Rex first head out onto track. Skiddy leading out on there, so time progression is set to ×2, so the amount of rainfall and pooling will be increased by ×2 of what a normal session would be. So Child's Play back there, making a bit of wall contact already. Skitty not taking it easy on the opening out lap in the wet. Pushing that car to get those tyres quite hot quite quickly, so weather will change to overcast at some stage in the qualifying session. So when they're setting the sync to race, it'll be slightly random as to when it occurs. It won't just be halfway through when there's two weather settings. So Child's Play, they're making wall contact again. Hopefully not enough damage, needing to bring it back into the pits to refresh that car. Braking hard there, coming into the chase. Up and over that curb. It'll be interesting to see if anyone tries to not do anything in the wet. And waits a little bit later to see if the rain holds off. Okay, here, just over the skyline, down through the S's, ready for the dipper. Nice line. A bit of oversteer there as it comes out of Forest Elbow. He's getting down Conrod in the wet. And you should see usually 280. So doing well there. Needing to get that car nice and straight and back over on that driving line before putting on the brakes. Because you've got to get quite heavy on the brakes there. Try not to lock it up. Shave off that speed, as if you're still moving over off that driving, or onto that driving line, and then start applying brake pressure, the car will tend to start going into a slide. So Gallen setting a first lap, so 2:28. So wet time, not sure what to expect from the drivers, possibly at least a difference of probably 5 seconds, I would assume. A lot of Indy spray out the back there. And not too many spots for it pools, but the last corner of the race track is actually quite bad, but you can actually cut the corner. Oh, wall contact there as we just joined over the Rory. Significant hit to the wall. Definitely some aero damage to that car. It's 10 minutes left, so he needs to decide whether that damage he's taken isn't warrants him bringing it back, having another go for setting a time before with a fresh car, or if he just waits it out there and at least sets a time. It's beneficial to at least get a time on the board. Track setting a 2:15. Angry still in the pits. No, Angry is now head out. Yeah, so that corner there, it does start to pull, so you can actually go up over the curb there and cut that corner once there's enough of a pull that it starts aquaplaning that car. It's a terrible spot for the car to try and do that as you mid through the corner. You do not want it to be sliding you straight into that oncoming wall. And if you do quite a late turn through it, find that apex just a little bit later, as you're putting the throttle on, the car will actually tend to actually spin out in that water puddle. But hopefully most of the drivers know they can cut that corner. T-Rex currently with pole position with a 2:15. Sweat Ridge not far behind, only 0.6 of a second difference. Try and make sure we cover all our drivers here. Darksider on the brakes there, coming into the chase. Nice line there. Should be able to be full throttle through here. Severing it lightly. Wonderful line there. Brilliant driving by Darksider. So 4th position. Very close to Gallen's time with the 2:16. So he's just being pushed back a couple. And now Darksider's being pushed back to 6. No, back up into 3rd. So also up there in the 2:15s. 7 minutes remaining, so halfway through. Rainfall has stopped. So opportunity here for the track to start drying up with 15 cars on track. So definitely good to see a little bit of difference in our qualifying positions at the moment. We'll compare it to our main race from last week at Road Americas. We had Corby qualifying 1st position, Sweat Ridge in 2nd, and Rooney in 3rd. Definitely seeing a bit of a difference. Trex Skiddy and Mersey Blue taking also 3rd position for qualifying, so very strong there. So in comparison to last week, Mersey qualified in 13th position, so to qualify in 3rd, brilliant driving. He has been pushed back, so Gallen has now taken pole. Gallen 350 in the sprint, and the main he qualified quite low in 9th position for the sprint race. We did have technical issues in that session. And then the main race also 9th, so doing quite well. So Rooney now taking pole position away from Gallen. So our championship leader, Sweat Ridge, is now pushed down to 7th position. He's in the pits. He may want to get that car back out as quick as he can and try and take that position back. Ooh, a bit of damage there. I think that may be Skiddy. Yes, it is. Unfortunate there for Skiddy. Hard hit to that wall on that front right. If you join us in the chat, be sure to say hello. I can see you. I have got my chat window up so I can see comments. I'll get rid of that speedo. I forgot it was still up. So Angry now taking 2nd position. So 2:11 is not a bad time. So assuming that's Sweat Ridge, he's been pushed down the 9th position, so he was just in pits just a moment ago. He was up the top, but quickly being pushed down the ladder. Nice tight line there. Oh, drastic there. Rear contact. You'll want to keep that car out. It's not enough time to bring it back to the pits, get out for another lap. You have to try and beat his 2:15 with some slight damage to the car. So Corby's just moved up a couple of positions. Our leader's now been moved down to 10th position. Rooney currently holding pole position. Angrelfiller in 2nd. And Darksider in 3rd. Drivers yet to set a time. I'm not getting my race feed. Project Cars 2 is glitching again. It likes to do that. So it's stuck on the race feed from the practice session. So I can't see if anyone's exceeded track limits. Sweat Ridge diving around Mateo there. Probably on the party chat asking him to move over. He's on a hot one. So Weaven also gets a set of time. So showing some side left damage there to that rear, the heavy damage at the rear there. So seeing the inside of that boot. So 2.5 minutes remaining. Need Weaven to set a time, see if you can move up that ladder a little bit more, get some decent points for the qualifying. Oh, contact there as he comes up the mountain. Definitely not worth bringing it in, just needs to get around, get a time, make sure the lap time isn't invalidated. In some areas, a strong wall contact will invalidate the time. Psycho's into the pits. He won't have time to be able to set another lap there. So currently he's sitting on 12th to start the race. So we've just had Corby now take pole position away. So a 2:09, 2 seconds quicker. So track is definitely dried up quite quickly. So unsure if they would be still out on wets trying to get some times in, if they had time to get back in and change to some soft compounds. There's still a little bit of water on the track, but it'd be enough to be out there on slicks for sure. The Trek's taken second position. So both Angry Gallon and Sweat Ridge moved down quite heavy. Oh, unfortunately for Corby, but very lucky he just set a 2:09, so Trek's not far behind. So, big difference in time difference here between the field. We only had a difference of about 5 seconds from the field in practice. The Sweat Ridge, there he goes. Just taking back pole. 2:06. Very lucky getting in a nice dry lap at the end. So, it will be interesting to see what drivers do on this last lap. So, 10 seconds remaining, so it'll be final laps. Checking out to see if there's anyone close by. So a lot of drivers crossing the line. May just get a couple more in, so it looks like 2 will be finishing up. Yep. Oh, unfortunate there for Terex. Jump on board with Terex. So he's taken some significant damage to that car. He's probably had it into the pits since. So not going to finish this lap. Happy with the result he's got. Someone doing a burnout in the pits there. So Rooney doing well with 4th position, so 2:11. That was done in the wet though. He's got time to finish this lap, so 90 seconds. So down Conrad, about to come down into the chase. And once qualifying is complete too, the drivers will have 5 minutes from when we get our qualifying results up on screen to actually head off, and then we will then head over to the race ready room. Really doing well. So second position. Gallen's moved back up into third position. So doing well there for him to do that. So qualifying now complete. So drivers will now have 5 minutes. So we'll go through results while they head off for their quick break before we head over into the 30-lap race. So we did see a bit of a difference at the start of the qualifying with some of our other drivers that usually don't qualify so strongly actually qualifying quite well in the wet. So then Sweatridge moving back to 10th and 11th before quickly taking back that pole position for the race with a 2:03.856, a very decent time. We did see them into the 2 minutes flat in practice. So race pace we should probably see the same. So Rooney starting in position number 2. So 2.7 seconds off in the gap there. Gallen finishing in third position for qualifying, so quite well there. He did recover. He was doing well with pole for a period, but then did move back down. We saw him reclaim that back later in the qualifying session. So the rest of the drivers doing quite well. So we'll be taking a short break while the drivers head over and get refreshments and the likes of their own pit stops. So we will be at a Be Right Back screen for a little bit as we have our short break, and then we'll be back for the race in 5 minutes. So stay tuned. Welcome back from our short break. So we have just finished qualifying. Drivers had a 5 minutes break, so now I've got a couple of minutes to adjust their settings. Let's change that to the wrong screen. And they've got a couple of minutes to ready up, adjust their settings. You can see the cars bumping up and down, so that's them adjusting different setups. So when it reloads a setup, you'll see the car tend to move. The current weather conditions is overcast. Over the course of the race we'll see that change. So we'll change to medium cloud and then end up being clear. So 30 laps over the mountain. That's mandatory pit race, so they'll definitely need to at least pit once. So we can't see what track temperatures are, unfortunately, in this mode, but it's likely to probably be around the 30-degree mark, I would assume. Normally in summer, at about game time, usually expect it to be almost 40 to 50 degrees Celsius. Now, hopefully no cars will drop out. Each driver will need to make sure they hit ready before that countdown finishes up, otherwise they will be sent to the pits as disqualified. So they have all hit ready, so ready to go. So wait for the game to sync. Doesn't look like we've lost anyone. Green lights, away we go. So it looks like Bertie, they're taking a good move in the middle, or Terex or Matteo, they're taking contact over to the side. Side by side there were Sweatridge and Rooney. None of them giving an inch of track around that first corner. Reasonably clean start to the race. As you can see, Corby there weaving through the field, moving up into third position. So it was Terex that made wall contact there, so he's moved down to 15th. I'm not sure what happened there. He has had issues with steering in the past in other rounds where the car just loses control as his wheel dies. So hopefully nothing of that happening at the moment for him. He's not slipping behind. So it looks like he may have been alright, just a bit of a slide at the start. So Sweatridge starting to get away. 1 second lead on Rooney. So Corby, we saw him weave through the field. Oh, locking it up there. Heavy contact to that wall at the front of the car. It definitely will affect him long term there. Some significant aerodynamic damage done to that front of that front bar. Definitely a bit of steering issue as he's coming into Forest Elbow. The car seems to be weaving a little bit, pulling side to side, so it looks like he's taken suspension damage to the front left of that car. Unfortunate for Corby, he had such a good opening. So Rory Hughes now looking to try and get past a wounded car of Corby there. Oh, definite control issues. Unfortunate there for Corby, he's just run off. Will he re-enter safely? Almost making contact with Skiddy. Could have been a penalty for unsafe re-entry. To Corby not bringing that car into the pits. He's going to see how it goes for another lap. Definitely going to drop some positions there. The Sweatridge still maintaining a 1 second lead, so Angry is now catching up on Rooney. Gallen also in the pits, so he's good to go away. A little bit of a delay there, so he may have made contact with Terex at the start. I'm not sure what's going on. Seeing the stealthy uniforms of Terex's pit crew there. So Rooney starting to close in on Sweatridge. Angry not too far behind either. He's just made wall contact coming across through the top of the mountain there. You do want to get nice and close to that wall as you come up around that bend. Just want that mirror just to scrape the wall. And pressure for Sweat Ridge now with Rooney and Angry quickly closing in on his tail. A little bit of oversteer from Rooney coming out of Forest Elbow. Lost a little bit of time, so down to half a second behind Sweat Ridge. See how quick they're getting us. We're getting up to 290 the bend down Conrod. So in the wet qualifying, we're seeing him get to 280. See if he's flat foot here. Not quite a nice line held by Rooney. That's seeing Angry now get right on his tail, looking for an opportunity to pass. Rooney slightly getting away a little bit on Angry. So, if you're joining us for the stream, be sure to comment who you think is going to manage to win this race. The first laps are being set at 2:05.8. So Angry currently setting the fastest race time of 2:04.89. Nice and close to that wall. Beautiful line there held by Angry. Nice and tight through that wall, ready for the dipper. Flat foot around the bend into Forest Elbow. Heavy on the brakes. Car sliding as they're heavy on that bit of wall contact there as Angry exits that corner. That slowed him up a little. So top three starting to space out. So Rory sitting in 4th position, 10 seconds behind the leader. So 9-second lead ahead of him to 3rd position. And then another 6 seconds to Skiddy behind him. So starting to separate in the field. So Child's Play and Darksider closing in on Matteo. So there is some signs of damage to the front of Child's Play's car. He couldn't manage to get around Matteo on Conrod, locking that rear wheel up as he comes into the chase. He's looking to make a different line. Angry or Skiddy? So I definitely think there's a good opportunity for Angry and Skiddy if they can come through nice and clean. Definitely a good chance of taking the race. Something going on back there with Darksider. Just weaved on track, not sure what was going on there. So Matteo just been passed by Child's Play on Mountain Straight. So taking advantage of the slipstream. Corby, unfortunately, sitting in 12th position after having that bit of an accident on the first lap. He's catching up to Mersey Blue. Rex, unfortunate start for him. The starting lights spinning out and making heavy wall contact at the grid. So I saw him end up in the pits after the first lap. The dark side are now catching up to Matteo. We'll jump over to Angry and Rooney, who are now competing for second position. The Angry managing to catch back up on Rooney. He's moving side to side, trying to decide whether he takes a different line to make a passing move on Rooney. I'm not getting my race feed, so I'm not getting sector times. So we can't try and see who's doing well in what section of the track. So we saw a big difference in the practice session through sector 2, so that's going over the mountain. So all drivers throughout the field was very close in sectors 1 and 3. So not much room for improvement. So for drivers to be able to make up some time over the course of the race, they'll need to do it over the mountain. Angry slipping back away again. So Corby has decided to bring the car into the pits. Oh, some heavy wall contact there by Angry. Nice line over Skyline. Jump on board as he's chasing down Rooney through the mountain. Just seeing how much movement it is as you go down that dipper. She's making an inside move through Forest Elbow. It's not always a nice spot to make a pass. It does put you off on that corner. But it's only if your opponent is definitely significantly slower that you can make a move, usually on Forest Elbow. As you want to get that nice line on the outside as you come into that corner. Same here as well, so he's going to have to be heavier on the brake to make that inside move. That curve is quite dangerous as well, putting him offline. So losing half a second. So Angry now needing to try and decide. Oh, he's slowing down. He's having some issues here. He's slowing right down. Something was going on. He was making some adjustments, potentially to his in-game car setup, I would assume. He's definitely losing some time there, unfortunately. Weaving catching up on Skiddy. The currently fastest lap for Weaving a 206.7 and Skiddy a 207.4. So if they keep that consistent pace, Weaving will be definitely needing to make a move on Skiddy, and Skiddy's showing some damage. With Weaving's car looking quite clean. So a slight disadvantage on the straights for Skiddy's car. Could see Weaving potentially pass him. It doesn't appear to be too much damage over many laps of the race. Probably won't affect him too much. Nice and close as they come across that wall where the camera was sitting. So Sweat Ridge now leading by 2.5 seconds. The Dark Side are catching up on Matteo, so they are less than a second apart at the moment. We may look at him make a move on Conrad. Looking to pass him on Forest Elbow, almost making the contact with his back left corner. We'll have the speed advantage here for the draft, but I don't think it'll be enough to get him in time. Dangerous to try and make a move here. Look like a bit of lag spike there by Matteo. So that's another factor that you have to consider in sim racing is also the driver position may not actually be where it is. So a couple of drivers now receiving time penalties. So Gallen and Psycho has received a time penalty. So a 1 and 2 second penalty, so that's exceeding track limits and not obeying a slowdown. So over the course of the race, it probably isn't going to affect them drastically. But for our lead drivers at the moment, a time penalty could cost them a position for sure when there is only a couple of seconds between first and second position. The fastest lap currently 2:04. The track temperatures are low and the drivers most likely be on the hards at the moment. So as fuel loads lighten and the weather starts to clear up, and I think a lot of drivers are going to possibly opt to softs towards the end of the race, we definitely will see some quicker lap times. Yes, and sorry, I only just noticed your comment there. Pitch strategy is definitely going to play the big part in this race, especially if they haven't got it set correctly. It tends to happen quite a fair bit. If you haven't got your settings quite right, you could end up going into the pits and heading out and they haven't actually changed your tyres, and then you've got to come back around and do it again. Child's Play heading into the pits, lap 7, so showing a bit of damage. Yes, so he's taken a fair scraping on that left side. To weave and still hold on the tail of Skiddy. It's a Sweat Ridge improving the fastest lap time to a 2:03.490. So now pushing his lead to 3 seconds. He's definitely quickly getting away from Rooney. So despite not having that pressure on him, he's keeping quite good pace. So let us know who you think will get the quickest lap as well. So it's 5 bonus points for the fastest lap of the race. We'll have a look and see who took the bonus points last time. So round 4 at Road America in the sprint, Corby set the fastest lap, and then Rooney set the fastest lap in the main race. Darksider and Bertie here contesting for position 8 and also closing in quite quickly on Mersey Blue for 7th. So Angry Old Fella now fallen behind to 22 seconds behind. So we saw him slow down on pit straight, so not sure what was going on with Angry. He had caught quite quickly up to Rooney again and then slowed right back. So Darksider raw. 3 cars almost all in a line, bumper to bumper. Birdie making a move, difficult position there, almost pushing Darksider off. Bit of a bump, tucked back in front of Darksider. Darksider looking to make another move, moves back over just around the bend on Conrad. Different line there, so it looks like Bertie choosing to block the inside line, expecting Darksider to make a move. Darksider heading off into the pits. And not sure if he's taken damage or not. So it'd be interesting to see if drivers have been out on softs and they are wearing out those tyres. So we're even still not too far behind Skiddy. So Gallen's moving back up the field after we saw him heading to the pits quite early. So we saw him doing some repairs. Corby also received a time penalty. Gallen hot on Mateo's tail there. We'll quickly have a look and see who's taken the time penalty. So Corby, 2 seconds, so exceeding track limits. So it's a heavier time penalty if they've been through pits and sped. So after 20 seconds, they will receive a drive-through. So Skiddy, Weaven, and looks like they are catching up potentially on Child's Play. No, not Child's Play. I'm not sure who's in the other yellow car. Weaven got past Skiddy, but then heads into the pits. Sorry, no, that was definitely Child's Play heading off into the pits. No, Rory's in the other yellow car, so Rory's head off. It's sporting a fair bit of damage. The Gallant's just passing Mateo. On Conrad, just getting in the corner just in time. But different line. Oh, cutting the corner. Mateo almost making contact with Gallant. Gallant gets through. Angry's taken some damage. He's fallen back quite quickly. They're now fallen down to 12th position. And Terex also catching back up to Angry. Not sure what's going on with Angry's car. Yes, as long as we don't jinx Sweat Ridge, so far 9 laps or 10 laps in. Very clean car. The 203.287, fastest lap of the race. Child's Play not far behind with a 203.595, and Corby is setting a 203.931. So we'll quickly look at Sweat Ridge's time. So his last lap set was actually his fastest lap, so he's getting quicker and quicker. And then just beat it again, so he keeps setting a new personal best each lap as he goes. So track temps will start to increase now. It's not overcast, but it's only medium clouds, so heat coming back into play. So if they are running hards, they will be getting a lot more grip out of those tyres now. Corby having some more bad luck there, hitting the wall. Coming up behind Terex, but it looks like that car is suffering for having an unfortunate bingle on the first lap. So also bad luck for Angry, so holding second position in the championship. Jump over to Sweat Ridge for an onboard lap. So debris on the track, we can see as he's going down the mountain. So hard on Forest Elbow, they need to be flat foot coming out of Forest Elbow. Beautiful line by Sweat. So second slower than his current best lap. Unfortunately, I can't see sector times so that we can see where he's got room to improve. See if he has got all 3 sector times or not. So Sweat Ridge starting to come up to some back markers. So it looks like he's approaching Corby, I believe. So stay with Sweat Ridge while there is a bit of space on the field. we'll see him over. Get down the third gear here, a couple of shifts down. Don't want to hit that curb. And flat it out, exiting onto that exit curb. Nice and tight to the wall. Right up against that wall, heavy down to second. Feather it through the corner. And then flat foot into third. You should be able to almost get flat out through here. A little bit of understeer as he goes through quite quickly. Hold that line right up against that wall. Brilliant line there. So be blue flag given to Corby as Sweat Ridge passes. Down into third, through the S's. Tap of the brake into the dipper. Being careful, you can flat foot through there, but there's debris on the track, so drivers will have to consider that, as flat foot through there would put them into a spin and into that wall. Brilliant line through Forestell though. If you get that perfect line, you can just put the throttle down and go straight for that corner. So now increasing his lead of the race to almost 8 seconds over Rooney. So Weaven currently in third position. The heavy braking into chase. And it should be full throttle all the way through. Move to the outside line, heavy brake, down into second. Touch a curb, and then flat foot as that car's straight. Brilliant lap there by Sweat Ridge. See if he's beaten it. No, that's 1.2 seconds off his time, and that was a brilliant lap driven by Sweat Ridge. So Rooney doing well and keeping pace, so very safe in his position for second place. So almost halfway through the race, he is losing ground from Sweat Ridge. But he does have a 30-second safety net to third position behind him. I do remember these drivers will have to head in for a pit yet. Corby, Angry and Psycho. Angry making some significant damage to the two cars. I can't see in my feed if they've been in for the pits. So Rory's there. So it would be Kirby with Angry. Rooney is also looking to pass. Yes, so Rooney in the second blue car. Oh, narrow miss there for Rooney. So Psycho's spun out, almost blocking the track. It looks like Rooney may have made a slight bit of contact to Psycho. So lapping Angry and Psycho. It's unfortunate when you are lapping cars and you make contact with them. Over to Gallen, who's moving up on Mersey Blue. So Gallen entering the pits quite early on in the race, so taking some damage, but he's quickly covering some ground, so he's moving back up the line. Gallen a 2:06, so I'm not getting fastest lap, I'm actually getting last laps apparently on my feed at the moment, which would be also on the broadcast. Gallen not being able to get past Mersey yet. Can he do it? He gets a good line here. Get on his tail, ready for Mountain Straight. So Child's Play also catching up quite quickly. Wouldn't want to make a pass here in Hill Corner. It's a nice line as he exits the corner. A little bit of contact. He's going to have to try and dominate the driving line as he approaches this corner, as Child's Play and Mersey Blue are both making looks to pass. Mersey Blue now falling back. Gallen almost losing that position on the driving line as Child's Play almost goes for a move. Look to pass on the corner. Oh, side by side, contact to the wall, Child's Play. That's a hard hit into the wall, so slipping out, too much throttle around that corner, so significant difference in camber on the track on that corner. So as you do go up over that lip, you don't want to be too heavy on the throttle, and as he took that inside line to make a pass, there was a lot more room for the tyres to actually spin and put that car into the wall. Unfortunate for Child's Play there. Did not involve anyone else. That was quite lucky for the other drivers. So Rooney's heading for his pits. So halfway through the race and doing a pit, can he last another 16 laps out on the track? So Sweatridge yet to make a pit stop. So he's been doing some very consistent clean driving, so his tyres are probably going to be doing quite well. So big part of the strategy is to try and make those tyres last as well. So whether you want to sacrifice a little bit of time and conserve those tyres, that you spend less time in pit stops. So Weaver now in second place after Rooney heads into the pits. So Terex closing in on Corby. They were only showing as a second apart, so losing a bit of speed coming down into Forest Elbow and costing another second. So Rooney back out into the field. So catching up to Mersey Blue. So Sweatridge currently leading the race by nearly 40 seconds. So not having any damage to his car and only needing a set of tyres. It'll be probably a 20-second pit. Oh, contact by both cars. If Rooney manages to get past, it may not be enough to cause too much significant damage to the car. You can take a couple of hits on that wall before the game gives too much drastic damage. Fortunate for both of them there. So Weaven heading into the pits for his first stop. So opportunity for Skiddy to move up. So Skiddy already of being in the pits, whether he can make tyres last another 14 laps. If he's set up his car correctly at the start of the race, and then when he did pit for fuel, he should be able to last throughout the race. It'll just determine whether he needs to head back in 4 tyres after making that earlier pit. He's a minute behind Sweatridge. Sweatridge does need to make a pit stop, and we'll probably expect to see him do it in the next few laps, I would assume. So Skiddy making a bit of contact. have a look at the times. So the race feed's not giving the correct fastest laps, so fastest lap is a 203.287 set by Sweatridge. Narrowly in front of the 203.309 set by Child's Play, so very tight indeed. But also seeing Child's Play in the pits early on as well. And Angry doing well at the start of the race, and then we saw him get nice and close up behind Rooney, and then looking to make a pass, and then he slowed right off to almost to a crawl along pit straight. I'm not sure what he was doing. And then he started dropping off quite quickly, so whether he was having some technical issues with steering wheel, something was definitely going on, and then he had an unfortunate accident and saw a fair bit of damage. Heavy wall contact going through, and again, that's going to be costly for Angry again just as he starts to recover. We did see him at the back of the field for a good while, and then he's slowly creeping up. Hopefully it's not too much damage that's going to have to see him head into the pits. So Skiddy heading into the pits, so he has had to, I don't think we can, no, we don't get how many times they've been in the pits on that timing sheet. So Rooney now moved back up into second position. Significant battle scars all over the car. It's the current race pace, so his last lap at 204, Sweatridge at 205, so hopefully Sweatridge isn't starting to ease off too much. There's 13 laps to go, he can't give any time away. Psycho missing a bonnet. I did see him have that accident, but I think he's been into the pits. So it's just residual damage. Making a pass across Skyline, just in front of Rory, just tucking in. Rory also then losing his line and having to run off in the S's. So debris across the track there, they've got to be careful as they go flat out. That was a very nice pass by Psycho. Brilliant pass. There was not a centimetre between his bumper and the front of Rory's car. Phenomenal pass. So Gallen has slipped behind as well, so he's currently coming second in our championship. An Angry Oldfella coming third. So definitely no chance of them taking the win away from Sweatridge at this stage. So it will be a battle for the podium. So Bertie and Weaven competing for fourth position. Bertie moving over for Weaven, allowing him to take that. And quickly catching up to Mersey Blue. So I'll check points. The Rooney trailing by less than, 25 points behind Angry Oldfella. So Rooney in fourth position. Angry Oldfella in third on the championship. So big potential here for Rooney to take away third position, and he's only 50 points exactly behind Gallen. So Rooney may be able to take second position for the championship. So currently I do think Sweatridge will be our championship winner. So Rory Mersey Blue in the pits. Angry Oldfella looking to pass Skiddy here. Oh, it is so close. Angry starting to recover some ground. So Sweatridge now on lap 19. Skitty looking to try and reclaim that position back away from Angry Old Fella. Gallen and Child's Play now having a battle for 8th position. Half a second between them. They come across top of the man. Oh, just drastic for Skitty. Sorry, Gallen, not Skitty. Gallen in the other green car, making wall contact. Matteo Mersey Blue. Matteo almost making contact with that wall. Blistering across Skyline. So Mersey slightly running up over the curb. Heavy braking in the dipper by Matteo. Cost him a little bit of time. So Sweat Ridge now heading into the pits. Don't think he'll be needing to do much. So Darksider and Bertie back at a battle. So we saw them battle early on in the race. So Sweat Ridge still in the pits. Rooney closing in, so Rooney having already pitted. Don't think he's going to cover enough ground as it's only going to be a quick pit stop by Sweat Ridge. So time's now going haywire on me here, so once the race leader heads into the pits, it skews the rest of the times up. And Matteo Mersey Blue still close behind. Sweat Ridge now back out, so he's lost about 20 seconds. Oh, heavy contact by Mersey. Heavy damage to that car. It's an opportunity for Matteo to try and make a pass now that Mersey Blue is wounded. Can Matteo catch Mersey Blue with an injured car down through the hill? Doesn't seem to be having too much of a performance issue with the car, so still getting away from Matteo, so quickly dodging over, trying to break that line from Matteo so he doesn't sit in his draft. The third is now heading to the pits. So Skitty's still closing in on Angry. Child's Play also closing in, we can see just behind. Can Skitty get past Angry? Oh, very close. It's definitely quicker coming into the cutting. Oh, making wall contact. He's pushing that car to its limit. On board with Skitty 14, chasing down Angry for 5th position. So Angry recovering quite well considering we saw him fall to the back of the field. Skitty definitely quicker than Angry through Forest Elbow that time around. You can see Angry trying to break that slipstream from Skitty. As it will make a difference of about 10 to 15 kilometres an hour if he can get a real good slip just down there. They'll redline that car completely. So Angry choosing to stay an inside line instead of moving it over to that racing line. Oh, going wide there for Angry. So Skitty manages to get past. Can he maintain that position through Hill Corner? Nice line. Angry's going to have an advantage here. Also Child's Play. Angry's broken that slip. Child's Play will now come flying up the rear of Skitty. Someone's going to have to try and dominate track position, ready for this corner, otherwise it could be catastrophic for the two of them. So choosing an outside line that left Child's Play with a perfect position to have a faster apex. Brilliant driving by the three of them here. It will get past. Skitty's getting away a little, but wall contact made by Angry. Will Child's Play sneak past and double again? 2 hits by Angry. Some heated action between 4th, 5th and 6th. And also closely coming up on these three guys is Gallon 350. The Gallon needing to move back up the field quite quickly. 9 laps remaining. Angry and Gallon need to try and hold their position. Angry going off quite wide to break the slipstream. Running off track. Risky. Oh, too quick coming into the chase. It's going to receive a slowdown. Needs to enter safely. Oh, cutting across. It's heading into the pits. Unfortunate there. It could have been quite a drastic accident. So you can see Gallon off in the distance there on that last corner. So catching up with, oh, a bump there. Child's Play, unfortunate for him making that bump to Skitty, then put him off. It's given opportunity for Gallon to now catch up on Child's Play. That bumper is barely hanging on after that hit onto that wall of the pit exit. Child's Play trying to get as close as he could to that tail of Skitty so that he could try and get a nice fast line to make a pass up Mountain Straight. Just got too close and cost him drastically. So over to Birdie, is looking to make a move on Mersey. Angry back out on the field. Not sure what happened with his hit. So whether he had a drive through to serve, I do not think. Oh, Mersey making all contact. So Birdie's now past. Angry also passing Mersey Blue. The Gallon hot on the tail of Child's Play. So Sweatridge sitting comfortably with a 33-second lead on the race. He's made his mandatory pit. I believe it's his race with how he's driven so far, so as long as he doesn't make a mistake and put into the wall and cost him dearly, or with catching up with some of the back markers, as long as he can get around quickly and cleanly. I think Gallon may try and make a move after the chase. No, Child's Play getting away a lot quicker than Gallon. Child's Play diving in the pits. Gallon moves up now to 5th position. So Darksider closing in on Gallen as well. So we better head over to our race leader. So not a lot of action for Sweat Ridge. A very clean race for him. Very consistent pace. So still with fastest lap, 203.287. So Rooney a 203.923. And then Child's Play at 203.31. Actually, no, fastest lap of the race. Darksider 202.772. I can't see it all, but you would be seeing it on your screen. I actually have to scroll down to have a look. I assume so anyway. But 202, very quick times. The Sweat Ridge is setting his last lap at 202, so getting quicker again. So see the sun shining down on those cars, a lot more track temps going up. So those hard compound tyres, if the driver's using them, ooh, a little bit of slip there by Sweat. So that's the corner I was talking about before, the camber of the track as you come up over that crest. Oh, narrowly bring it up. A little bit of understeer. Nice and quick over Skyline. I think we're going to see some faster and faster lap times here by Sweat. If he does make a minor mistake in a spin-off, at least he does have that almost 40-second lead. Oh, Forrest elbow making contact. Looks like he's catching up on Rory. Look where Rory is on the track. Yes, so Sweat Ridge catching up on Rory. So Rory's car showing a lot of damage. He may have been in the pits and had that fixed. And we're just seeing residual. No, it wouldn't be, because it would have actually put his rear spoiler back on. So we'll probably see him dive into the pits here. No. So a blue flag being waved for Rory. Moving over for Sweat. He doesn't want to make wall contact by doing so. So a clean pass for Sweat. 5 laps remaining. Ooh, a little bit offline. Still getting away on Rooney. Rooney doing well in second position, so strong chance here to be able to steal second or third position away from Gallen 350 and Angry Old Fella. Nice line there by Rooney. Thanks for cheering, JK Gamer. So the field's starting to spread out a little bit. So 9th and 10th position, 3 seconds is the closest. Then we've got Skitty, Darkside and Gallen with 5 seconds between the three of those. A little while before we see them catch up to each other. Darkside and Skitty just up ahead. Five laps remain. Don't think we'll see any more cars having to use the pits unless they do incur damage that they need to get repaired. Fuel loads and tyres should be fine for the drivers now. All serve their mandatory pits. So we're even currently doing quite well in third position. So we're even sitting 9th on the championship ladder with 162 points. So he has Mersey Blue and Matteo Tommaso just ahead of him by 10 and 20 points respectively. So finishing strongly in third position would be quite favourable for him to be able to jump up a few positions on the championship. That is our final round. A few players dropped out. We did have 15 on the field. Trying to see who have we lost. I think we've lost Psycho and T-Rex. So Psycho Agency has dropped out. He may have had to go do other things. It does tend to happen for Psycho. Sometimes has to leave it a little bit earlier. And T-Rex was having some technical difficulties at the start before we actually went into practice, so he did say he may drop out. Oh, so Gallon just past Skiddy. So he did have a fair distance in front of Gallon, so he must have ran off track through the chase by the look. So Rory in the pits deciding to do burnouts. Donuts by Rory. You're going to see if he's going to blow these tyres. Can we get a cheer for Rory doing burnout in the middle of the race? He will blow those tyres. Nice burnout, Rory. A cloud of smoke drifts across pit straight as Bertie and Matteo Tommaso pass. Rory's still smoking those tyres up through the pits. Clearly not enough heat in those tyres, he said. So if you're joining us for the stream, don't forget to hit that follow button. Say hello in the chat, we can see you there. If you want to get involved in our racing, you can head to our Facebook group. That's facebook.com/groups/Apex Esports League. So Thursday nights is a broadcast. Oh, contact by Bertie. Not too drastic for him. We broadcast Thursday nights. This is the last round for this one, but next week is the LMP 900 World Series. So a lot of these drivers will head off into the Le Mans prototype cars. So we'll be doing a variety of tracks around the globe. Oh, sliding for Bertie, heavy contact. Not sure if that's Rory passing there. No, it would have been child's play. Narrowly avoiding Bert as he spins out. So 2 laps remaining. Darksider sitting quite comfortably in 4th position. 7 seconds away is Gallon. They were quite close for a bit. Gallon also sporting a time penalty. The Skiddy not far behind, so we'll quickly have a look at Gallon. So he's only got a 1 second penalty, so it's probably not going to overly affect him for a position unless Skiddy can close in on him quite quickly. I mean, if Gallon's to try and cover up almost 8 seconds, oh, bit of rear slide, under braking as he goes down through the dipper. Another one, so it looks like Rory's dropped out, given up after that beautiful burnout. So the drivers would be feeling quite fatigued after almost 30 laps on the mountain. So Sweatridge doing well with a 44-second lead on the race. A little bit of oversteer and minor contact with the wall. So Child's Play Matteo at the moment. So Child's Play looking to get past Matteo. I think he may get past him. He's showing some quick pace. Looking for the outside line there. Matteo holding the inside. An early move on him. Not the favourable driving line as he comes up to the bend on Conrod. Will Matteo give him a bit? No, didn't give him any room. He's going to have to brake harder. Pulls it up in time to make it through the chase. Brilliant pass by Child's Play. Dirty following in behind there after that spill. Yay! Good going. Currently second in our championship, so Bruni sitting in second. Gallen needs to make a couple of positions up to try and secure his position for second place. Otherwise, I think Bruni may be able to actually beat him. So then Angry Old Fella sitting in third for the championship. He's fallen back in the field a couple of times, some unfortunate incidents and something weird going on at this earlier section of the race. But he's recovered well a couple of times. I don't think he can cover 20 seconds when it's now lap 29. So Sweatridge with Angry Old Fella in the background there. With Sweatridge's car looking quite clean compared to the rest of the field. He's done quite well at the front of the pack. Can he do a clean sweep with a pole position? Race win and fastest lap. So if he manages that, that's another 145 points and then a significant lead to finish off the final round. Oh, Angry, bit of oversteer, slipping the rear as he goes around Hell Corner. I don't think Angry will be able to catch Skinny at this rate. Oh, getting broad. So feeling some pressure from a back marker. So it's final lap for Sweatridge. He does not want to mess this up on the last lap. Even if Angry gets past him here, it will not affect his race position. He's feeling pressure from Angry. He may just want to let him go past. But Angry's only trying to cover up lost ground. Neither of them want to end up in an accident, but we'll quickly see Rooney catch up on Sweatridge and pass him in the last half of the lap. To the final time down Conrod. The Sweatridge reaching almost 290 kilometers an hour before getting on the anchors, bringing it up. Angry looking to make a pass. Sweatridge doesn't want to get involved in this. He just wants to let him go through. Sweatridge has a safety net. Can we get a cheer for Sweatridge? A brilliant race driven by Sweat. Oh, Angry dives off both ends. Sweat as well. He's got time. He doesn't want to... does not want to make contact to Angry. All he's got to do... he needs to possibly let Angry get across. I think he was trying to do that, as it would have just finished the race for Angry, so AI would have just taken over. So, well done to Sweat Ridge. He has won the final round, a clean sweep by the looks of things. 202.355, is that the fastest lap time for him? No, Darksider 201.953. Brilliant time. So not a full clean sweep, but definitely guaranteed his position as our series championship winner. So Rooney now with an opportunity to finish up as taking a podium position for the championship, so taking second. So Weaven approaching the finish. Drivers 80 seconds left to finish last laps. Hey Chop. Thanks for getting in to watch it. We missed you, mate. Hope you're enjoying your holiday. So Weaven finishing in third position. Great race by Weaven. Also for Darksider finishing fourth. So over to Gallen. Sitting behind Corby, so he doesn't want to try and make a pass here. Gallen's more contact at the end. He's lucky no one behind him. He's got space to make that mistake over. Trying to drift it across the line. Skitty not too far behind, finishing in sixth position, 25 seconds remaining. Drivers are done. Sweat Ridge takes the race win. Not doing a clean sweep with the fastest lap time, so Darksider 201.953. Blistering time in the end. So some very quick times at the end of the race as those track temps went up. So Rooney taking second position after Sweat Ridge's win. Weaven in third place. Darksider in fourth. Gallen in fifth. Maybe not enough to secure himself of that second position. Rooney may have had enough points to move up and push Gallen and Angry Oldfella away from second and third on the leaderboard. So done very well. Gallen 5th, Skitty 6th, Angry 7th, Child's Play in 8th, Matteo Tommaso in 9th, Bertie 1035 in 10th position, Mersey Blue in 11th, Corby in 12th, Rory Hughes in 13th position, and we did lose a couple of drivers, so Rory still hanging in for the end of it, Psycho having to drop out just at the end, and we did lose T-Rex due to possibly a dropout, so doesn't look like Gallen cost him a position with that 1 second penalty. He did have that gap there, so very lucky. Brilliant race by all the drivers. Well done. It's been a great series of the V8 Supercars. We definitely have to do another V8 Supercars broadcast series again. A lot of fun, fast action. So give a cheer all for every one of our drivers here. Brilliant driving, a brilliant race, and they would be well and truly buggered after 30 laps over the mountain. So next broadcast series, as I was saying, is the LMP 900 World Series. So it's also a 5-round series, weekly on Thursday night, same time as the V8 Supercars series. The broadcast starts at 7:30. If you want to get involved in driving, head to our Facebook page. It is facebook.com/groups/Apex Esports League. So it's a 5-round series with Mazda Raceway, Laguna Seca, Snetterton 300, Sakito GP, Hockenheim GP, and Circuit of the Americas GP. So it will be very interesting to see these guys getting around in the Le Mans prototypes. So I hope you've enjoyed our broadcast, and we would hope to see you at our next event. So be sure to hit that follow button. If you want to see any of our previous broadcasts, they do get uploaded to YouTube afterwards as well, as Twitch deletes them after some time. So you can catch any that you have missed. But thanks for tuning in, and hopefully we'll see you trackside next time.